you're doing what you're doing, but you're saving money, I would think, in the process of not having to hire accountants and do all this stuff and have liability insurance, because they have it all.
That's a lot like what Bert's talked about last week with the guy at Zappos, going down the street and actually buying shoes off the shelves and fulfilling orders that way.
Yeah.
Initially, anyway, because
Yeah.
eventually,
Proves them all.
you're just going to be matchmakers, right? Because
Correct.
there's people that want to work, they're going to be independent contractors. And they're going to work be on your site, and then somebody else is going to say, hey, I need, Bob Jones to come move my piano.
Yeah.
And so then you just they pay you $20 an hour, and Bob gets his $10 an hour. Is that the way you're going to do that?
Pretty much.
So the legal part, I think your questions are then is the independent contractor relationship that you have to make sure that it's set up correctly.
Yeah.
Because the people, you're not going to have employees.
Correct.
Or are you going to have employees?
Not as laborers.
Okay.
So we've done some work, talked to my cousin who's an attorney to help draw up the independent contractor, and I have my CPA looking over too. So I think we've got kind of the basis, figured out what clients and independent contractor versus. But like we were talking about at one of the sessions is, if somebody does hurt something or has something hurt, that wipes out the whole business. And, what.
Well, the next is to talk to an insurance agent to make sure that they have
Right.
how you have your insurance covered for your organization, hiring independent contractors to do work.
Yeah.
But if you let labor already do that, they've already got all that
Yeah,
stuff
so
covered.
that's kind of this happens.
Yeah,
Use that.
I think the one exposure they have is when I hire LaborJack to move my house and something gets damaged, do I sue LaborJack, or do I have to find these 12 guys that have me traipsing around my house and sue the vendor?
And that's already, you could find the answer to that, because a moving company now that comes to your home and delivers your goods, if they moved you across country, they're hiring local labor here to do it now. So that question is answered by, I think a couple weeks ago, we talked about a moving company somewhere around here.
Yeah.
And somebody knew somebody there, they didn't really understand what it was.
So is your end goal to match college students or to match contractors? Because, you can't have, like right now you have college students working for you, right?
Yeah, they're.
And that's like the niche, workers, but you're not gonna be able to get reviews of college students unless you have them continuously working for you.
Yeah.
So is your end goal to also manage these people, or are you looking in the community for people to
So it's kind of a multi-part question. I'd say the first part of it is we do want to focus on just college students because all college students are trying to earn an extra dollar. And moving is something that we found that a lot of people are interested in. I've had most of our positive feedback has come from the contractor side of things. The people that have been working for us enjoyed it. But I think the second part to your question is, how do we scale that kind of? Is that
Yeah,
how do you
Yeah, because right up here you can see they have a rating for their contractors.
Mhm.
So if you're gonna hire college students, then that's gonna be your job to hire them and vet them and somehow provide a reliable rating.
Yeah, so I guess the vision would be college student hears about LaborJack through the grapevine or through advertising on a college campus somewhere. We say, hey, go into our website, fill out a profile, become a LaborJack, and then they're automatic. Like once they go through the training, whatever, sign all the paperwork, they'll immediately be involved and get notifications as to when these jobs are arising. So that's like the long-term vision, is to have everything be, they open up their smartphone and say, hey, look, I can go work a job this afternoon for LaborJack. And college students or contractors or both, we don't know. We're targeting
We're targeting college
college
students as the contractors.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
over
'cause-
time, their ratings will get built up, just like
Okay.
any other similar Uber, Lyft.
Now, see, now the college, the problem, well, the problem and the opportunity, with college kids, I may go, I like your idea then, because with college kids, you got them 4 years, and then they're gone. And then you're training a whole new group. I mean, every year you're losing potentially 25% of your workforce because they're gonna get a job and they're gonna go.
Right.
You know, so if you focus on that, I mean, you might be able to partner with Manpower that has a facility at every place in the country, and they vet those people, and so if you have somebody that's interested, you advertise to the college, you advertise to the college guys or gals, right, whatever. And you say, okay, go to Manpower, they'll vet you and hire you for our company. And then Manpower, they get benefits, they can get benefits through Manpower, they can have a much more, a better sort of job. Plus, you don't have to vet them, you're just hiring them through Manpower, then they're, you know, temporary employees. I mean, that might be.
Before Jess cuts us off, that was the best elevator pitch I've heard in a long time. That was really good.
Appreciate it.
Told the story, nice and concise, great. Good job.
Appreciate it.
So I actually wasn't gonna cut you guys off, but I'm also gonna say one more thing, because I think that you put in a really specific request here that I'd really like to ask people about. So you had actually, and I realize that we're out of time, but, on the other teams were just doing updates right here, so you guys get our time today.
All right.
You guys are the lucky ones. So you had said that you need some help figuring out who's entered, so like college students, you got that, but like potential customers, right? So tell us a little bit about what you've been doing now so we can offer you guys some suggestions for who else you're out to.
Literally all we've done right now is gone through, all the people we moved for over the summer, and just called them and asked them the questions.
So it's past clients, so we're finding out, you know, what.
So we
what
know
they
they
liked
used
about
us
us,
already.
why they used us. But what we'd like to figure out is, okay, who truly is our target demographic? We've got an idea, I guess, but who truly is it, and how do we, you know, go after a new segment that hadn't heard of us and get their feedback on if they would actually use a service like this, if they do it available.
Who's your guess?
Well, renters primarily with, you know, incomes less than $7,000.
What are you guys finding about so you've already got this whole list of people that you've been talking to. You've already got some feedback from them. What do their personas look like? Are they all over the place, or are you finding a certain persona that kind of keeps reoccurring in people you've already served?
Yeah, so we've kind of noticed that, you know, obviously outliers, but the primary customer is apartment renters, mostly actually family, newer families, which is interesting.
Okay.
So we do have a lot of data on that, and aside from the outliers, yeah, it's middle income families living in apartments, upsizing, downsizing, or even just lateral.
Okay. Alright. So I guess I was just gonna say this, like, so movers, so, you know, so renters, so what are the largest places that are typically rented out? Apartments or rooms, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, and I'm not, I get, you guys aren't really trying to drum up, you know, like, business right now.
No.
Or no.
And that's sort of where we're kind of lost too is, with, I mean, it would be really easy to get lost in that whole, like, go in and advertise a bunch again on Craigslist and get all these jobs booked and micromanage like crazy through Facebook. Mark knows a lot about that. And text hundreds of people constantly, and it's just really time consuming. So what we're really trying to do is define that target market and implement tech to ease the process of hire to contractors. Like whenever the phone calls made to hire us, we just want that process to be not fully we pair.
Well, then we need to figure out a way to automate it in order to be able to scale on the level that we want to scale to. Because, I mean, that little phone right there with me at my regular job, we can only do so much.
Okay, so comparing two different things, right? You need to do some customer interviews, and you need to reach out and figure out who that persona is. And you also need to figure out this technical scaling issue, right? Like two totally different things.
So that's why we're not.
So that's why you're not really trying to activate to business.
Uh-huh.
So I'd say then, how do you find renters? Do they have associations? Can you go to like our, like, it's not perfect, but we also have an office of off-campus living or something like that. Can you do some kind of survey there? Like, you just need to find where those groups of people collect. And if they collect, are there sort of regular meetings at their apartment complexes, or is there somewhere that you, somehow you can get out a quick survey in an apartment newsletter or something? Like, I would just say that like apartments tend to like collect these people in a really small space, and a lot of them, so that might be
Yeah.
something to pursue. And
Or-
then you can like think separately, but then about the situation.
And one of the things is like, because that's kind of why we felt like we had somewhat of an advantage coming here, because we had a preconceived notion that we knew the market already existed, because we advertised all summer and did X amount of jobs, kind of just bootstrapping randomly, chaotic mess. But I think now that we like have that or that we know that we've proven that people are demanding this, we just want to define how many people and how often. Because if we just started up in Fort Collins and advertised and got 75 jobs, I mean, we probably missed like 90. I don't know, I'm not gonna make up numbers, but we missed a huge margin of the market already. So, and if we were able to land that just on a limb, we
But you
need
said
a more
you missed them.
like.
Did they call
Yeah,
they called you and you couldn't provide them service?
No, yes. So I'm saying like.
Or you didn't,
if-
they don't know you're there?
They don't know we exist. Like.
Okay.
So they'll search Google for movers and not find exactly what they want. I don't know.
Or they wouldn't even think that this kind of a service exists where they can rent their own truck and, hire our laborers, and the cost savings by doing that as opposed to going to an actual moving company.
Have you guys reached out to U-Haul?
That's what I was gonna say.
Is that what you were gonna say?
Yeah, U-Haul budget is.
It's, I don't know. I'm personally kind of scared to approach them about it. I don't know why. I just not scared. I'm scared as if like they already have their
Yeah.
contract with e-movers or whoever. But I'm scared because people rent a U-Haul and then they see the e-mover sticker and then it's like, oh, maybe I do need help. But our side of the market is they need the help and then we get them the truck. So we're giving U-Haul the business. I don't want it.
You all
there's
as movers, is that a
Uh-huh.
real thing?
Yeah, so, but those people rented the truck and then they see the advertisement for e-movers, whereas like, people found us and then we tell them to get the truck. So like, we're giving U-Haul business, but, U-Haul is giving e-movers business
Yeah, so you all's already partnered with
with.
these e-movers. Are there any other truck companies that are out there that haven't partnered with anybody? So, I mean, I don't know.
I guess I was also just thinking of even like 2 men in a truck, right? Like, I don't know, like, is it something that, can you be like the really like sort of niche manpower for companies like,
Yeah.
like do they have labor shortages that they can just say, oh, we just randomly like, it's July 30th and every person in the entirety of Fort Collins needs to move right now and we don't have enough people.
Right.
Right, like is that something that you could potentially
So,
offer them?
yeah, so
I think
maybe just like a wide scale, like, sort of a different business approach where we, supply laborers to short staff.
Try it out, right? It's all about just trying it and see. I think, there's definitely an advantage to, to Dean's point, like, if you don't build infrastructure, that you don't have to. And if there's a potential opportunity there, especially in order to, keep your guys busy or offer them work, it may only happen a couple times a year, but could happen a couple times a year, right? So.
But at what point do you become just a staffing, I guess?
You'll find that out, I think. That's why you hit every potential customer that you can think of and see what is the hotspot.
Yeah.
Then you can figure out where your business may go. Because at this point, there's just a lot of competition, and I don't know that your business is defined yet. So if you just plaster the market, it may find you.
Yeah, I might also say, there are a lot of rental listings online and things like that. You might want to go through and call those people and ask and inquire and say, like, when you moved, did you need help, or are the people moving in needing help? What have you noticed? Because there are tons of people online, and if they're already online to rent, they might want to also just click a link on that website and have someone help with it.
Okay.
Stein, you had a question? I just talked to you guys about this. This is more for the group. But if you guys are looking to see what kinds of things people are looking up in Google to find that demand, check out Google AdWords, because you can see how frequently search terms are looked up in Google. So like affordable labor solutions might not be as popular as like moving help or a truck or something. Something like that. So you guys can try that out for all your businesses.
What's it called?
Google. It's called Google Keyword Planner, but you just Google AdWords is what you'll go to, and you can look that up, and it'll show you search volume.
It's called keyword.
Can I ask you a question?
Suppose.
Well, Rich, I'm actually gonna cut you off, and I'm gonna say no, you can't. I'm gonna let Leah talk, because you had your hand up, and then we're gonna stop, and then we'll take a break, and then we can talk about it.
Sorry to trump you.
That's okay, he's their mentor, you can talk to him later.
Okay.
We'll find you.
When you guys are talking about who your target market is, I think that there's another market that could maybe be potentially tapped into. This is going to sound weird coming from me, so please just don't think I'm kidding on you. I think your target market could be women like over 30, like 35 and above. Because when a married woman who's moving or single, a lot of times she's the one who runs the show. At least from my experience in the house, and maybe you've seen that. Because he's busy, like helping move stuff.
You
like
guys
he's,
are starting to find out that she runs the
No,
show.
no, no. I mean, sometimes he's busy.
No segments
We're not like
that I'm in
finding this
charge
out,
of.
we already know this.
I mean, like, sometimes
I'm
he's
still
busy, like
figuring it
helping
out.
move something, helping
No,
move
yeah,
something for them or something. And so they're coming up and talking to me.
Yeah.
We've moved a lot because we
Maybe
flip
we're
homes. And so I have just a couple ideas. One is maybe your market should be that you hire good-looking college men. Because it doesn't have to be like hot guys in like no shirts, but you guys look very innocent, which is good. Whether you are or not, you look innocent. And if I know that I can, because we've had situations where we've hired companies where we overheard them talking and we knew some of them had recently been released from prison. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whatever that is, for me having a little girl, I would feel more comfortable with you guys moving in my house. Because we had situations where just issues happened. So if your whole profile was about me giving, even if it cost me a little more, your college, like it's all about you going to college. So I know that by paying for you, it's helping you to get a degree in whatever it is. So your whole profile, like all of your employees, is about college students to graduate.
I like that.
I would be more likely to hire you, even if you cost me more, than the people that I don't know anything about
Yeah.
them.
I would do the same.
Yeah,
The movie
because
industry's
you guys,
been forward.
you look innocent, which is perfect. I will feel so much more comfortable if I open the
So,
door.
you've
And,
heard of college hunts,
Yeah.
moving junk,
Yeah.
right?
so I guess it's like
Kind of
that.
the same sort of idea, only you're moving stuff. And I'll second the whole thing is we're moving. And my wife is the driver on the whole thing. And if she could hire guys to get things done faster than I can get to them, she probably would if it was easy for her.
And when I did it, just helps add to the value. It's like keeping track of all the things you're moving, which you may already be doing. But I want to see a sheet that says, this left my house, these boxes, box 1 through 30. And then when you show up, box 1 through 30, you cross them off with me and show me they're in my house. Just little things like that. Well,
Yeah.
people don't do it, at least the movers we do.
Sure.
And that would make me so happy. I would be way more likely to hire you guys
And
than
pay more.
the movers, and pay more. And so part of me thinks that your market should be like value driven. Your value is that you guys
That's interesting.
are good looking. And you show up and
Maybe
you'll.
they become employees versus.
Yeah, well, they can
Okay.
still be contracted, I mean, because the employee thing is an issue like Dean's talking about, because then you're getting into insurance and stuff. But if you get people who do a good job, they get good ratings, they get tipped, they're gonna wanna keep working for you.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So as long as you're feeding their mouth, they're gonna keep showing up. And yeah, it is rotation every 4 years, but if it's about the college student, I might feel good that I tipped you $20 and I'm hoping that you're gonna put it towards
Yeah.
school, whether you do or
That's
not.
here.
Yeah.
Well, and it's a job too, because
It's all a cost,
Yeah, same
education.
But just a thought, when you guys
No,
talk about
yeah.
who your target market is, I just wanted to throw that out there without sounding crazy.
One question I would have in return is, where do you think we could find more people to interview that share your opinion?
College fairs, get the moms.
Contact.
Because my family is all women, and, you know, we've had health injuries, I have back problems, things like that. My mom loves hiring, you know, high school boys, like those friends, you know? Like, she would call my friends first and give them more money than they deserve, because they're kids.
Yeah.
So maybe if you can like play into like, we're just like your son, or we're like your daughter, but he's out of town, but we'll help.
I like it.
I think you could also just like, you know, you could also do a flyer, right, in these apartment complexes, like say, you know, quarter page flyer, you moving, have moved lately, we'd like to talk to you. You're not selling them a service, you're just saying we'd like to talk to you. And
Yeah.
you get a $5 gift card to Starbucks if you answer our quick survey, whatever, you know, something small like that could get you. That could at least get you some contacts.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay, cool,
Cool,
thanks guys.
we got work to do.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Best update ever. Just 20 minutes on it. Good job, guys. So I do want you guys to, we haven't done this in a couple weeks because we haven't had coaches, but I do want everybody to do an elevator pitch. What do you think? Yes?
Yes.
Woohoo! Elevator pitches. Okay, great. Also, because we've just got some additional time today, so we don't have updates from everybody. So, Caitlin, would you like to get us started, please?
Yeah, I've been brainstorming a lot, so I'll stick to my usual. I'm Caitlin McLaughlin. I am the founder of Caitlin Mac Clothing Company, and we feature socially conscious plus size clothing. I'm trying to incorporate a trade-in aspect to it, and we're also doing research on whether a service, providing a service might lend better to the consumer's needs, such as working and stuff like that.
Okay.
I know it wasn't exactly the other people, but I love it.
Sounds good. Yeah, and really the only thing is that, like in a true elevator pitch, you're not trying, you're not researching, you're not. You are.
Yes.
You are. This is what you are doing, and it's going to be amazing and excellent.
And depending on your audience, you may not have to list your name and all that sort of stuff, depending on your audience, so tailor that to your audience. If I'm sitting here and I know that, I'd rather learn more about your company than
Just catch our attention. 37% of the population is plus size. That's 98 million people in the US. Provided any clothes.
I think that I heard that that's what 100 or maybe it's twice that.
Numbers are big.
Yeah.
Rhea?
I-
Are
yeah,
you in the elevator?
I'm totally like not even there because I was focusing somewhere else, so it's gonna be not good. Can I have a second to
Collect your thoughts.
focus and then I will rock everybody's world.
Labor Jack did yours already. Stein,
You bet. All right.
I
so
know you're ready.
Sure thing.
You're always ready.
I'm always telling everyone I'm ready. Well, anyway, so how do you bring the closing rate from a car dealership in-person sales to the online experience? Test Drive is arming your car dealership salesman with a smartphone and bringing that in-person, in-store experience to the internet across all devices. This allows your customers, your potential, your leads, to ask questions and engage with your salesperson as they shop that car online from the comfort of their home. Let's take a drive.
Okay. You ready there?
Oh, I was like letting everybody else
Oh,
go.
you're gonna let everybody else go.
I have a really good one somewhere and I can't find it.
Okay.
It's just not really good.
We skipped somebody. When you hear the
Labor
other
Jack.
Labor Jack guy.
But we already heard Labor Jack's elevator pitch.
But we only heard Blake's version.
Do you guys have two different versions of an elevator pitch?
Well, both you gotta be selling. I wanna hear from both.
Go ahead, Josh.
Get it, let's hear it.
Get up.
Let's hear it.
Yeah. Labor Jack is your affordable labor solution. We're here to match independently reviewed contractors, preferably college students, to customers looking for affordable and reliable customer service. We've found a specific niche in the moving industry, and we're looking to exploit that through the use of technology.
Okay. Anna?
Stand up, please, lift your top. And it's all doctor and surgeon wash their hands and sterilize their medical equipment before you use it. This is a given, but what if it wasn't? What if you were getting emergency care in a third world or developing nation, where this isn't a given, you don't have the ability to sterilize their medical equipment? Hi there, I'm Anna, and I'm founder of Sunstay. Sunstay is a solar-powered autoclave that seeks to sterilize medical equipment in developing nations where they have low access to electricity. Using a renewable resource, we're providing the best way to provide the best care. Thank you so much.
You guys are all like pretty short. I think that the same thing we've said with Anna with before. Anna said something that would probably make you think and listen to her. Like, of course, this is a given, and not everywhere it is. I think there's something that that is a little bit of a visual appeal there to see what it looks like. All right, SideQuest.
Hello, my name is Marissa Eisgren, and I'm one of the co-founders of SideQuest. SideQuest is an online video gaming publication that is focusing on the people in the industry and the social aspect of gamers. When you think of a gamer, you probably think of a 13-year-old boy in their parents' basement playing Call of Duty. But in reality, 81% of adults ages 18 to 29 and 60% of people ages 30 to 49 play video games regularly. We are creating engaging multimedia content at SideQuest that tells these stories of gamers and breaks that stereotype. Gamers are trying to connect with other gamers on sites like YouTube and Reddit, but mainstream gaming publications are not offering this human-centric content. We won't bombard our readers with banner ads and instead gain revenue from sponsored blogs and posts and selling user data. SideQuest is not only innovating the type of gaming content that gamers consume, but also the way that they read it.
You might just at some point it would be something like, you know, as opposed to lead revenue, again, like Dean's saying, it's like it's all about who you're talking to. So you know, you may say something like, you know, through sponsored ads, we're able to really also cultivate a connection between, you know, companies and users or something like that. So that your revenue model is clear without saying your revenue model is X. Right. But if you're talking to somebody like an investor, they want to like be really clear how you're getting money. So you guys have a little bit more of an
So,
money generating
how
industry.
can you during whatever
I think it's just imagine that it's in here that you're talking to somebody who has no idea what it is you're talking about, and they need it in really simple terms. Like, I'm sorry, I don't mean to like say, I don't know if anybody here is voting for Trump, but the fact is Trump speaks to like a 4th grade level as opposed to like an 8th grade level, and there's something about being able to just use small, simple words that people really understand. Like make money as opposed to revenue. It's just something that you can just speak into a lot of people's system in that way. Because then I don't have to think about the words that you're saying. I just automatically get it because it's so colloquial and it's just so like easy
So
to
not
get.
really necessarily an investor, but just like kind of someone we wanted to, or like,
Yeah.
maybe small talk.
Yeah. I get people do that all the time. I walked into Bert's office the other week. He was working with a student, and he's like, "All right, give her your pitch, just like right there. You better be ready to just do it like just like that. You have no idea who I am. You have no idea if I know anything about gaming, or if I'm an investor or anything. You just need to talk to me and be like, oh, well, actually, I'm an investor, and I invest in the gaming industry. Be like, oh, fantastic. Well, let me tell you more. Do you know what like?
Yeah.
Does that help?
And you'll become attuned of hearing keywords from your audience,
Yeah.
so you know which pitch to give, but you have to have them all on the tip of your tongue. And sort of a technique that I use is, if I can't see my pitch in pictures, because we all see in pictures, if I can't see it, it's not as fresh as it needs to be. So if I can see this picture book, because in essence you're telling a story. So you want that story to be a picture book story, so it automatically comes to you. Some image will generate the words that will come after you hear a keyword from, hey, this guy's an investor, and you know immediately which one to give.
So, what Jess said, so in your pitch, what was the dollar amount of the gaming industry you said?
Actually did, and I gave age ranges for the amount of people that play games regularly.
And keep that number in there. It's a $15 billion a year business growing 50%. Oh, and what we're gonna do by doing this is get this part of the market, and this is gonna be our revenue thing, what we are. So get the number out there, tell them what you're gonna do, get a differentiator, nobody's out there. What people wanna know is about the personal life and things like that, they're gonna pay for them. This is what's gonna happen. Start out with that. So,
And just a note too on numbers. Numbers can be really additive and they can also be really restrictive, right? So numbers can be really additive, but just like Jim just said, you guys threw out some numbers, but you didn't remember what number you actually threw out. You guys were throwing out percentages of people in certain age ranges, and he was like, what was that number, the dollar revenue again? So sometimes numbers can really mess with us, because if we're auditory people and we're not seeing a number visually, it could be something that could be really difficult. So if you're using numbers, use the big ones and make it more about the story. So you might say, Marissa, as opposed to the two different segments, you might say something more like, 60% or more of people between the ages of 20 and 60 play video games. Like, it's a huge age range, and you're saying just more than 60. It doesn't matter if it's 60 and 80, that doesn't matter. The point is that lots of people, lots of age ranges, that's the point you're trying to get across. Huge industry, growing exponentially, we're tapping that market. That's all, it's all about the story, right? Because we're all just thinking, like Dave said, we're thinking about fictions anyway. Tell me like a huge story, and then I'll ask for more, and then we'll get more.
And I think maybe the number couldn't be remembered because I couldn't remember it either. I was focusing on what you were saying on it, so I was head down sort of trying to tune out everything else, which is what you should do, one of your teammates should do. I was trying to remember the first part of what you said, but you were probably 30 seconds in. So after 15 seconds, I'm already trying to remember the previous 15 seconds so that I know how to come back to you. And you're trying to do it so just be conscious of the amount of time and what you want to stay within that time.
Ripping on what you said, percentages are very hard to visualize. I mean, 60% of, 60%, I don't get that. But when you say the gaming industry is 3 times the size of Hollywood, like it's huge. I had no.
Dumb it down,
I don't even like the fraction part. It's just hard to, I don't have a visual image of a percent. But I have a visual image of Hollywood is this big and this is 3 times the size, or some other kind of.
Something that's big and then we're bigger than that.
But make sure it's accurate, because anybody on the other side of that table, they've done their homework or they're gonna do their homework. And their sort of bank that they can go to get data that you're maybe guessing at is much more complete.
When I say something like 30% of people walk into a car dealership buy a car, is that not a good number, or should I say
That
1 in
sounds
3
like
people
a
walk?
auto commercial to me.
What's that?
It sounds like a car commercial.
In your case, you could say the closing rate, when somebody's actually standing on the showroom floor, my closing rate is twice what it is when they're online.
Okay. That's
Well, how do you verify that? I mean,
He's got the number.
The number.
Okay, then if you can back it up, then, yeah.
So what you do is you just say who that is because it lends legitimacy. So when you get a number,
So according to blank.
according to the National Auto Society, 2 out of 3 people, whatever.
I don't know that I'd quote the source of this.
And not during my pitch, I certainly didn't, during my pitch. If someone came up to me after, I could.
You need to lend legitimacy to the number, especially if it's extravagant. So there's a pitch that says more people die in wars, or more people die in the hospital than in wars and automobile accidents in the U.S. Unless you say the CDC says this, then people go, yeah, that's not real. You have to lend legitimacy to that number.
And if I'm doing a presentation, I may footnote that.
Okay.
I may have a small asterisk so that, it's up there if someone wants to see it. But if I'm doing a pitch, I know I have 15 seconds, 30 seconds to get your attention. So that may detract from my pitch, thus making you go to sleep at the
Do you think my statistic is unbelievable enough to want
Yeah, you don't want it to be unbelievable.
cite
You
it?
have to attract attention in the right place. Again, what do you want people to remember?
Right.
The statistics or what you're doing or with the differentiating factors, so you
Okay.
put the emphasis in the right, in the right part of your pitch.
Okay.
What do you want them to take away when they go away? You're saying, what do I need to remember?
So
And that goes to beginning, middle, or end. I mean, there's a
Which is
story.
right, yeah, there's
The
a
story has a
story,
beginning,
exactly,
middle, and
yeah.
end. Where do you want people to remember stuff?
Okay.
So if you're 30 seconds and you pitched a bunch of statistics, I don't even care at that point, because I don't believe you until I've done my own due diligence,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm going to do if I'm gonna give you money.
Okay.
So, keep it is a fine line and a trade-off, for sure.
So in my pitch, I've been saying, closing with, we're able to save customers 60 to 70% over traditional moving company. Do you think it'd be better if I said, if we're moving an average 3-bedroom house, our savings are like $600?
I would have cut that whole thing out, the whole 60%, but we already know you're gonna be good, you know, you're better off selling quality
Yeah,
than price.
right. Quality, yeah.
So for you,
Differentiating
Stan,
factor.
what I was thinking was, you could close with, saying, instead of saying the statistic about 30% of people who walk into car dealerships actually buy a car, you can say, I'm here to boost the amount of sales, car salesmen can make without, the customer going into the store at all.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
Double it or something.
In an elevator pitch, the only real purpose of that is to get the meeting, not to close the deal.
That's right,
You
to
know,
get the attention to the next one, yeah.
Yeah, so this is really snappy to get their interest, and then after you got their interest, then that's a longer discussion. You know, you've got like an elevator pitch, 30 seconds to get their interest, and if they've got interest, then you've got the minute, 3-minute, 5-minute pitch. So
And you may
you
not
don't want to
wanna hear it,
confuse
but-
you don't want to confuse the three of those.
I don't believe you anyways.
Mhm.
Because I know you're coming in as, if I'm an investor pool, I know who you are. So I'm expecting sort of a work in progress. So any of your numbers just are really meaningless, until you get to a certain stage, but they're, I'm just not gonna believe it.
Okay. So focus more on.
Content, I mean,
Yeah.
content.
Sell me,
With
sell me.
selling, with, you know.
So we actually have a really fantastic mentor, Tyler Brooks. He says this, he says, Jessica, you say, what do you do? Why do I care? So anything you say should go into, why do I care? And if, for me, I don't care that, again, to Sadie's point, who are you pitching to? For me, I don't care that you're increasing the sales of the online person. I don't really care. I care that you're getting me into a car that I know a lot more about, right? So you're always communicating your value proposition. And if it's just talking to me and you don't really know who I am, then you may say something like, increasing sales or whatever, like what your core value proposition is. If your core value proposition is to save money, I would disagree with Russ and I would say put that in there. If that's not your core value proposition, then don't put that in there. Whatever your core thing is that you want people to really get away from, what do you do? Why do I care? That's like 2 things you should always have everywhere you go. Because I don't know why I should care about the humanistic component of the gaming industry. Why should I care about that? Well, because there's these huge populations that aren't being served, and we can really get them additional content and additional and connections to advertisers. Or, because your value proposition to an advertiser is going to be totally different. You're connecting to this $15 billion industry that's growing 50% a year. Holy crap, that's huge. So it just depends on who you're talking to. But again, you always, like Dean said, you kind of always have these other ones in your pocket. Like if I'm talking to just a person, you may say something a little bit way more general. Then once you know who I am, I'm actually a person that sells cars in the dealership. Your pitch is going to change. You're going to already have that why should I care already is going to be there, like top of mind on the tip of your tongue.
And if I'm a holistic investor, so I'm interested in what you're doing to change the world, that's gonna be different than the investor who's interested in the bottom line in return for his investors. So again, know that audience and know how to pitch it. Because you're just wasting this person's time. And you want that person to tell the next person that, hey, this isn't for me, but it could be for you. You ought to listen to these guys.
Right, right. Bring it home.
Got
Now
a lot
you're
to
gonna give
live
us
up
the best
to.
No crunch.
Had
Oh,
a lot
it's
of
incredible.
numbers, but I'm gonna cut it down. Try to keep it simple. It's okay. So, Amayush, MSAPIAN Healthcare objective is to develop data-driven solutions for the complex healthcare problem faced by the consumers. According to statistics provided by the US Health Department, approximately $3 trillion was spent in the year 2014 on the healthcare. Despite having the most expensive healthcare system, US ranks last overall among 11 industrialized countries on measurement of health system quality, efficiency, access to care, equity, and healthy lives. So how do we improve this system? We use state-of-the-art data analytics and machine learning algorithms along with personal health records of the patient to predict the probability of a disease, using out the out-of-pocket expenses for patients and optimizing healthcare providers' workflow. We help save lives.
Okay. So, feedback for Ayush real quick, based on what we just talked about?
I lead with we help save lives.
Yeah.
Right? You got my attention. I had to do that. Because I was asleep.
We help save lives.
Anything else that we
Just
we
help
just
save
talked about?
lives, tell us how, and do that.
Yeah, and again, less complexity. I think the first sentence had a lot of like big words in it, and
Okay.
after that I just kind of tune out.
Kind of presume that, you know, it
People are
doesn't
trying
mean
to
you're
understand what it is.
Get to the point where you same thing, you go into numbers, I mean, billions of dollars or whatever, and I just, the same thing, I said, okay, what does he do? I didn't remember something to do with apps, I thought it was something else. And so you get to, you know, what is it that you're really doing?
Kind of like what Jess said about Trump, just fourth grade level. Just, we help save lives. And then tell a story. Imagine going into the doctor's office and instead of filling out all this paperwork, it was already done for you and you just waited for the doctor instead of being frustrated filling out stuff you filled out 100 times before.
I think bringing that frustration into the picture so people are like, yeah, that's the worst, and I see the doctors so often. You know, then they immediately connect. I know every time I go to the doctor's office, even at CSU, I'm filling out the same thing again, even though it's in the system.
So with that said though, one of the things, this is a great critique from you guys, but the key thing that may be missing here is what I used to use advanced predictive analytics on records to save lives, not to help you fill out forms. That's not predictive. That's not
So
the
it's
was
very
the
precise, yeah, sorry.
Was the message wrong then? Did you not
Yeah,
get
that's
that?
the question.
I'd say yes.
Yeah, I didn't,
Okay.
So I didn't hear his message talking about helping you fill out forms, so here's the question to you, what made you think about that?
I think probably past presentations and just been talking about it, and you know, we discussed last
Right.
time a lot about not having to fill out those
Yeah,
papers
and-
because of a collective
yeah.
health record.
Right.
So
And one of the part which comes from like filling the record is like when I'm keeping all these health records in a single place, in a single server. So apart from building analytics, you can also access it. Like it helps you in reducing your time in your forms. But yeah, analytics would be one of the core reason that we are putting those forms up there.
So I think there's still a good story point.
Yeah, so-
And like if you just tell like a story, I think
Right,
it'll come
like a
across
story,
way
yeah,
more
right.
clear,
Yeah.
really simple.
Okay, so instead of it would be like, imagine you get cancer or whatever. But imagine if we lived in a world where there was a software where we could predict that was going to happen to you.
Yeah.
Don't say imagine you get cancer.
Don't do that.
Imagine a world where you can know when you can, your doctor
Predict
can tell
cancer.
you you might get a serious disease in the near future and you can treat it before.
Imagine you can predict.
Stress out of diagnostics because
Yeah.
you could speed up a diagnostic section very quickly if you had all that information. And there's a list of things that you could possibly get.
Not buying that.
You know, if you have these symptoms, these are the diseases you likely have, your doctor can test directly for those instead of running tons of blood tests, tons of panels. It saves you money and time and frustration. It's scary to be diagnosed with something. So
Again, what's your value proposition? And if you're talking to a
Yeah,
customer, you're not gonna say optimizing, you're probably not gonna say diagnosing, you're gonna say like making your time with the doctor more valuable, right? Or
Happy
whatever,
yeah.
more about you and less about paperwork, or
But this-
whatever it is, right? Again, it's all about who it is who you're talking to.
But this is real customer and individual?
Sorry?
This is real customer and individual?
Well, again, it depends on who you're talking to.